Hello, everyone. My name is Annie Ward. I am the educational specialist for the Ogden location. For those of you that would be attending on Monday, I am your educational specialist. I'm going to introduce the grammars, 4 different grammars that we have available to you that you can utilize as a part of your full language arts curriculum or in addition to what you're doing if you need more or want more grammar. The first one I'm going to show you is called Growing with Grammar. This one is for all levels starting in first grade up. You can utilize this curriculum. This curriculum is a favorite just because of it's so straightforward, easy to use, it's open and go. Essentially, the level 1 and level 2 is just one single work text and that students work from, just one book. It also has tests and answer keys, comprehensive assessments, so that you can make sure that your student is understanding and retaining information that they learn in this text. So those will come into play, and then if you need to, you can go back and review in your work text. So level 1 and 2 is that, just a single work text plus the assessments. When you move up from level 2, starting in level 3, 4, 5, and so on, it comes with a little student manual. This is essentially where their lessons are contained. They'll read their little lesson, which is only about a page or 2 within this booklet. They'll read their lesson first, and then it will direct them to go to their student work text or their student workbook. Just like with the lower levels, it comes with tests and an answer key so that you can make sure that they're understanding what's going on with that. So Growing with Grammar, reasons families really love it is because it's fairly independent. If your student can read, then oftentimes they can open this up, they can read their own lesson, they can answer the questions in the workbook just independently. So it takes a lot off of the parent as a teacher because students can generally work independently within this program if they are able to read. The other thing families really love about this program is that this one's sealed, but if you were to open it up, it's formatted by week and day. So you know exactly what you're doing every day. There's no guesswork. For example, you open it up and the first page will say week 1, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and so on. This is set up with 36 lessons. The idea is that you would do a lesson 3 times a week within this grammar program, and that would take you through the school year. It's black and white, it's straightforward, there's not really any fluff, but it's open and go, really effective, thorough grammar instruction. So that is Growing with Grammar. The next one that I will talk to you about is called Fix It Grammar. This is an IEW product. You guys may have heard of Institute of Excellence in Writing. There's a whole different writing program that's IEW based, but this is the grammar component from IEW. This is a cool grammar component because it is copywork, essentially. Each grammar book is a story. So the story, every lesson has a small section of a story. This one happens to be the story called The Nose Tree. And so students are acting as an editor-in-chief, basically. They go in and they will read the portion of the story. They will edit and correct any grammar mistakes, usage, mechanics, grammar, and then they will take what they have edited and they will rewrite that text on their own. So by the end of each book, the end of each level, essentially, so this happens to be level 1. By the end of level 1, they will have edited and rewritten the entire story of The Nose Tree. So this is really application grammar, different than Growing with Grammar, in which you're really learning the mechanics bit by bit and then applying it. This is all learning grammar through application. So that's what Fix It Grammar is. This one has a level 1 and a level 2. That you can utilize for that. The next grammar that I have is called First Language Lessons. This is a really classical education type curriculum. It's Charlotte Mason based, which really just means it's really conversation based learning. There's a lot of oral discussion. It's heavy on repetition, copy work, dictation. There's picture studies and story studies that you will pull grammar information from. In the first two levels, level 1 and level 2, it's just a single teacher's manual basically, because most of what you're doing is going to be repetition through oral language. So it's conversation based. Any writing that you would need to do this book would direct you to a different loose leaf sheet of paper, and the students would work on that. Once you move out of level 1 and level 2, then it moves into a teacher's manual plus a student workbook. The theory, the idea behind it stays the same. However, it's still very oral, but it moves into having the students do a lot more of their own written work. And so the teacher's manual will direct them to a student workbook where all of their work is contained within. This one does include some sentence diagramming, as well as mechanics of writing. So if you were to use first language lessons, you would get parts of speech, you would get sentence formation, capitalization, punctuation, plurals, suffixes, contractions, and usage. And that one is great for students who are really auditory in their learning. The last one that I'll show you is a very basic curriculum program that you can utilize on its own as a grammar or use as a supplement. It's every grade you could want. Spectrum Language Arts will provide a book for. So Spectrum Language Arts is just a really colorful, concise workbook that's really easy to implement. Kids like it. It's aesthetically pleasing. There's not too much on a page, but this one will cover all of your mechanics: capitalization, punctuation, usage, grammar. It comes with approximately 50 lessons. The lessons are 2 pages. So 2 pages a day essentially would be a lesson. So 50 lessons, 2 pages per lesson. It has periodic reviews just built in. So if you get to one of those periodic reviews and you see an area in which your child is struggling, you can go back and review the previous workbook pages and help reinforce as needed within this program. And so this is just really quick, really easy to implement, really good to add. It's you'd probably want to work within a Spectrum Language Arts about 3 times a week. Most grammars are about 3 times a week. So that's true for this one as well. And I'll get my last one. Okay, I was gonna go grab this last one that I want to show to you, but it turns out a different ES has that one because it is both writing as well as grammar. So if you want to get 2-in-1, writing and grammar, a really great one that you can use is called Essentials in Writing. I don't have a hard copy here, but if you go to the writing section of our videos, then you can actually see what it looks like. But what I love about Essentials in Writing is it is complete writing, complete grammar for every grade level. What families love about it is it's DVD based, and so you can, in the back of the workbook, so it's one workbook, in the back fold there is a DVD, and all of your lessons are right there on that DVD. And there's an instructor that teaches the students the writing and grammar lessons, and then it will direct them to certain workbook pages. So it's one workbook paired with DVD lessons that you'll do generally 4 times a week. I think it's set up as a 5-day-a-week curriculum. However, if your students are attending Da Vinci days, full days, then you'll just implement it 4 times a week. It gives you your writing and your grammar all in one concise workbook, DVD lessons, takes a lot of pressure off of you. It's essentially an open and go sort of curriculum. There's very little prep time. That one is also broken up really nicely into week and day. So if you were to open it up to the beginning, it would say week 1, day 1, week 1, day 2, and so on. So you know exactly what you're doing for that curriculum as well. So if you want to learn more about that one, you can go to the writing section and watch that more about Essentials in Writing within that one. And on any of these, please just contact your ES if you have any more questions about how to implement it, about how they work, about how much time they'll take in your day, about pacing. Any of those questions you have about any of these programs, you can ask your educational specialist about, and they can give you some really great information on that.